Hello, everyone and anyone, and welcome to the Uncanny Commander. My name is Scott, and today we have a new deck tech, and this one comes in as a special request. We are talking about Emet-Selch, Unsundered, an evil wizard who loves putting things in the graveyard. Let's get into it.
Why settle for one entrance when Emet-Selch can take the stage again and again? This deck is all about blinking him in and out to draw, discard, and stack the graveyard until the curtain rises on his true form. Hades, Sorcerer of Eld. Once transformed, the graveyard becomes your arsenal, letting you replay your lost spells and grind out endless value. This isn't just a blink deck, it's a full performance. Every exit, every entrance, perfectly in your control. Blink is how we turn Emet-Selch into a revolving door of value. Every exit, every entrance, more cards, and more setup. Let's see the best tools to keep him flickering. Splash Portal exiles and brings a card back immediately. For a single blue mana, it's easily one of the cheapest spells that allows us to do that. Because the casting cost is so low, we aren't concerned if there aren't any of the listed critters on the battlefield for the extra value. For 2 and a blue, Blur gives us the same effect as Splash Portal, but without the restrictions to drawing a card. Conjurer's Closet is an artifact that gives us a permanent blink option on our end step, letting us reuse powerful ETB effects every single turn and steadily build value. Asa Deep Dwelling is an indestructible god that lets us blink one of our creatures on our end step. She also brings utility by tapping down opposing creatures, and with enough devotion, she becomes a massive body on the battlefield. By soul bonding Deadeye Navigator with Emet-Selch or any other creature with strong ETB, LTB abilities, Deadeye gives us a repeatable blink that can be used multiple times each turn. Unlike most of our blink effects, this one scales with our mana and can quickly take over a game. We can't rely solely on Emet-Selch as a blink target, so let's take a look at some other great targets to repeatedly enter the battlefield. Kiora the Rising Tide fits perfectly into our draw and discard plan, doubling up with 2 loot triggers every time she enters the battlefield. Once our graveyard is stocked with 7 or more cards, she rewards us with Scion of the Deep, an 8/8 octopus that can quickly overwhelm our opponents. Metamorphosis Fanatic, a high-cost, high-reward creature that reanimates something every time it enters the battlefield. With lifelink to stabilize our life total and the chance to cast it for just 2 mana, this Fanatic can swing games in our favor fast. Phyrexian Delver also resurrects a creature when it enters the battlefield, but it brings a little pain with it. We lose life equal to the mana cost of whatever we bring back. Helping us continue to fill our graveyard is Stitcher's Supplier. This card is always a must-include in any deck that wants to load as much into the graveyard as possible. It's also a great sacrifice and resurrect target if we can't blink it. Ultimacia, Time Sorceress, surveils 2 whenever she enters or attacks, filling our graveyard more. Then if we exile 8 cards from our graveyard and pay 8 mana, she transforms into Ultimacia Omnipotent, a 7/7 with Menace that gives us an extra turn. Of course, blinking isn't the only way we can reuse our best creatures. Sometimes we want to skip the entrance altogether and pull them straight back from the grave. That's where our reanimation package comes in, bringing key threats and value engines back to the battlefield for a second act. Mirko, Obsessive Theorist, rewards us for surveilling by growing with +1/+1 counters. The larger she becomes, the bigger the creature we can bring back with a finality counter, turning her into both an enabler and a payoff for our reanimation strategy. Fight On is an instant for 2 and a black that doesn't bring anything back to the battlefield, but it does return 2 creatures to our hand. Cast this on the end step before our turn, and we'll be ready for action right away. How about reanimation that we can cast from the graveyard? Dread Return for 2 and 2 black lets us reanimate a creature, and should we need to, also comes with flashback so we can cast it again. What's a reanimation package without reanimate? 1 black, this sorcery returns any creature from your graveyard to the battlefield for the cost of life equal to that creature's mana cost. How about we bring our opponent's creatures back from the dead too? Reach the Multiverse makes everyone mill cards, then we get to choose the best creatures or planeswalkers from every graveyard and put them onto our battlefield.
That's the deck. Emet-Selch thrives on making an entrance again and again and again. With Blink to recycle our best effects and reanimation to bring back heavy hitters, this build turns the graveyard into both engine and weapon. Whether the value loops, giant finishers, or the flip into Hades himself, this deck always finds a way to steal the spotlight. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deck tech, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what Blink or reanimation cards you'd run in this Emet-Selch deck. I'll see you next time, and remember, stay uncanny.